You smell that, guys? It's love. It's love in the air. You smell it? I know you smell it. I may have farted, but...
Yeah.
So yes, we're talking about love, and this is Optional Bosses with Kyle.
And Abe.
And Jimmy.
Yes, that's right. It's love. The love cast. Talking about him and hers.
Can we have like some 70s?
Sometimes him and hims, it
music
kind of
on?
depends. You know? Then that's really big now. Having gay in video games and stuff like that. Same
Having
set.
what?
Having gay, like gays in video games.
Oh.
Like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, you can both choose to be a homosexual in both of those games. So
Yeah.
that's big now.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
You've never made a gay character?
No.
Yeah, neither me. I haven't either.
There's nothing wrong there.
I've never done it
When I
either.
play a game, I play it as
I'm just
myself.
saying, it wouldn't be weird if someone did, right?
Right. No.
No?
Okay, so like in Mass Effect.
Well, I'll just keep that skeleton in the closet.
so like in Mass Effect, like you can be
Yeah, you can get you can
like
be,
with the male character. Or
yeah, you can be female and you
So
can
like
be
would
gay
they
too.
show like the sex scene with?
I mean, there's no dicks at any point in any of the
No,
sex
I'm not even
scenes.
talking about that, but like because I remember Mass Effect had like the whole sex.
It'll be two chicks rubbing on
controversial-
each other instead of a dude and a chick or a dude and an alien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it changed like that or if they had that cutscene in there because they never mentioned that. They always mentioned the
Yeah, I mean, that was like part of
fornication and the
fornication. Is that what they're calling it now? The fornication. There needs a button. Yeah. Well, anyways, kind of love in video games are kind of a big thing now. I like everything almost has kind of like a sub story that has to do with
someone's
maybe
falling in love.
yeah, someone's
Whether
falling
it's
in
the
love.
main plot or not.
Absolutely, yeah. And I dig it. I'm a romantic at heart. I always fucking love a good love story.
blooms on the battlefield.
Love does bloom on the battlefield. Snake even said so. Actually, I don't think he even answered that question. He was like, Otacon, can we really not talk about this right now?
Always gotta bring your feelings into
He was kind of the Rose of Metal Gear Solid 1, if you think about it. He was always calling and acting like a...
Well, he was the one that urinated pants in the...
Hey, that runs in the family. It must be some kind of urinary tract infection or something, because Emma does
Oh
it too.
yeah, I do. I almost forgot about that.
But yeah, I love love stories, man. And one of the all-time greatest love stories in video games, and this is why this is my my favorite Final Fantasy.
Oh, no.
And you think I'm going to say 8, but I'm not going to say 8.
No, I know what
I'm
it
actually saying 10.
10.
Because I thought 10's love story was way better than 8.
That was.
But I'm giving 8 credit because it was the very first time I ever experienced a love story in a video game, and I was just like, oh, I really dig this. They need to start, doing this all the time, making the. And that was a big part of 8. Did I keep on saying 7?
No. You
Okay, good.
Saying,
Woo!
whoa.
Thank God. Yeah.
someone out numbers now.
Good. Yeah, I know. Anyways, but yeah, I like 10. 10's fucking story with Titus and
I've
Yuna.
ever been involved in a love story as
when they finally have sex in that
stuff.
lake, I'm cheering. I'm almost crying. I'm just oh, thank God, this kid's finally got together.
Even I teared up a little bit in the ending.
Oh yeah, that's literally one of the greatest endings in video game history. Sorry, bitch, I'm not real. I gotta disappear now.
Because I was expecting, the typical, hey, we're together and we're happy. Forget about X2.
Yeah.
Just Final Fantasy
Well, 10-2
X.
didn't exist.
Yeah. So, and the realizing it's oh, I'm just part of a dream too, and I never really was there.
I really dug that.
And she tries to
catch him at the last
and she
second,
just
goes
falls
right
and
through
it's
it.
always
I cried like a little girl during that. I'm not going to sit here and lie. That game tugged at my emotional, strings throughout the entire thing. Because he knew for the back half of that game too, and was hiding it from everybody, and didn't even tell her until that moment. He was like, "Oh, by the way," but you know what I mean? That's how he led it to her. He was just like, "By the way, I'm not real."
I feel his character, he didn't want to tell it to her.
No, yeah, you didn't want to, because she had she had to save the world.
Yeah, the burden and
she had to
everything else is well.
Yeah. By the way, whenever you save the world, it's gonna kill me.
Well, he was already dead technically.
He wasn't even real. Yeah, he was a figment
dream,
of these people, of their imagination,
I
like
said it was
the creators.
a dream or something.
Yeah, and the only way to wake them up is to defeat sin,
Yeah, Jack was like, "Yep, I'm dead." So.
Yeah, Aura knew the entire time too, and he took it pretty easy. That game's awesome. I fucking love that love story. It's totally fucking great. Abe, do you have one that comes to mind that you just love?
Yeah.
I love love!
And this is the one you haven't played, Final Fantasy IX. I actually really dug.
They have a love story in Final Fantasy IX?
Yeah, it's very subtle though, and that's part of the reason why I like it, because it's not in your face. This is a love story. It's just kind of there. And
why did you not like that about 10?
It could be overbearing for me a few times. Like just no.
I'm learning way too much about you. By doing these podcasts, I'm learning way too much stuff about you, Abe.
No,
that I just hate. I want to like smush your face about.
That's all I'll do
doesn't like Ocarina of Time. Shut up, Jimmy.
But no, I like their relationship. Like the main character Zidane makes enough like mistakes. Like there's one point they're like climbing up a ladder. He reaches up and grabs her ass. Like just and like
on accident.
No, on purpose.
Yeah,
and she's
all right, Zidane.
Oh yeah, and she's pissed off at him, and he's like, shit. You know,
I did like the love story in there. I do have to. Because I actually did play.
Oh, you played a fantasy game? Wow, how weird.
I played 7.
There's no guns in those games.
I know. I played 7. I played most of 8. I hated 8.
What?
That's crazy.
I like the concept of 8 and that battle scene between. I don't even remember much of this game, but I remember there was like this huge battle scene between the two schools.
Oh, that one between
the
gardens.
Schools.
Yeah.
Like
that was probably the most
Ballad
epic.
Like,
I was like, whoa, this is great. But like, I didn't like the story because the way I remember it.
Oh, you didn't like the story? The thing that was the best about the game? Yeah, that part was so bad. The thing that was really good.
What do you remember about it? Like
the way I remember is like you spend most of the game going after, I guess, that witch-looking woman. I don't remember her name.
It's sort of Edia at first,
yeah.
But like,
and then it changes, and she's not like the bad guy that like she first appeared to be, or
I'll say this: if you play it like nowadays, you actually, if you know the ending of the story, like you realize what's going on because it's really not her. You're actually against the sorceress that's controlling her, and her personality is totally different, and it makes sense. Like knowing the ending, like I do. I played it just a couple years.
Yeah,
ago,
maybe I just didn't give it a chance. But like after it like shifted who the bad guy was, and then like you're kind of
they incorporate time travel and stuff like that, like towards the tail end also.
Because I just remember I just got to that point where she wasn't the main bad guy anymore, and I was just like, I turned off from it.
That's kind of the part that I liked, though. It was like there was bigger things afoot, you know.
I just didn't see it, so maybe I just didn't give it a chance.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is, but that's how I remember playing it, and I just got turned off from it, and I just couldn't play it anymore.
I think you would have to play it again because it totally changed when I played it a few years back. Like I got to that part, I was like, "Holy shit! This is actually the big. It's actually you're actually against the big boss like the whole time, pretty much." So like it changed for me. I was like, "Oh shit!" Because at first I was a little apprehensive. I'm like, I beat her. Now there's somebody else. I'm like, this is stupid, but it's the final boss like the whole time, pretty much.
So before we go back to you hating Final Fantasy X, which I am going back to.
I don't hate Final Fantasy X.
Oh, we're gonna get to it, Mister. It's overbearing. There's too much love. Yeah, it's too happy.
It's probably one of those that I have to go back and
too happy. It's kind of like depressing and all.
That is a very depressing fucking game.
No, that's why I need to like go back and replay it because I've been like replaying these and like, man, these are different stories for me all over.
You gotta mature brain now. Exactly, everything gets perceived differently after a few years.
But no, I do not hate 10. Dude.
I can see it in your eyes, Abraham. But what else with the 9 thing? I mean, like, because I've never played that game, so.
Again, it was a nice subtle one. I felt Zidane actually had to like work to get her, and they kind of have this almost like a playful. It's a very playful relationship. It's definitely there's sexual tension there, definitely, because they're just like, ugh, I hate you, but want to jump your bones right here.
I remember 9. I don't remember 9 being exactly something that evoked like it was a tragic love story.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I always found it like a cute,
it was just
cute, kind of an airy, happy love story.
Very Japanese love story. Japanese anime love story.
It's a guy with a monkey tail, and
of course,
and a princess, and they're all like. I don't know how to describe them. Their
and she's a princess too.
Really?
Yeah,
of course. They're all oddly proportioned. Like
they're like sort of
short.
Chibis.
They're like really, they're chibis. Exactly, that's what they are. Is what they feel like. 'Cause they're all like short little characters, and they're.
But it was an endearing, and he's. I don't know. It was just a charming little relationship that they have. That's why I liked it. I was watching the cutscenes from that whole game like a few days ago, and I was like, man. I really love this game, so I like that. I like that.
I'll have to play 9, man. Seriously, I'll have to get it on my to-do list. That's for sure. All right, what about you, Jimmy?
10 was actually going to be mine.
Of course, yeah.
That's why I wanted to go first, so I can take it from you. But but to avoid any repetition, let me give me a second just to think of another one. I could pull out the Uncharted love story. But
that's a really good one. I actually really like that. There was a real powerful moment in the third one. Well, I guess I just cry really easy. I don't know, especially with video games. I don't know what it is about it. Like I often express that like video games, the way that I receive their narrative is the way that most people like read. You know, people read to get a story, get a nice tearjerker out of a book or something like that. That's what video games are for me. In Uncharted, there's a moment in 3 where like he realizes that he's like putting everybody at risk. And like it's a very quiet, it's a very quiet moment. He's like he has his like head in like Elena's lap, and like he was just like, I'm like so sorry about everything, and I'm just like, oh, this is a fucking real moment. Like it's a real fucking moment that these two fake characters are having, like these two made up characters are having. That's a great. I didn't even have that on my list. Like that's a great.
Because I just remember the love story being, it's kind of like. There's kind of sexual tension around Drake and Elena and the other girl.
I forget her name, but she's
terrible at names.
Chloe.
But you could tell like there's history between them.
Yeah.
And then there's
she mounts him like 10 times in that game.
And I'm just like, and throughout the game, I was always like, is he going to choose Elena or is he?
He was always going to choose the nerdier girl. You can't choose the ridiculously hot girl. You know what I mean? That's why she's there.
Amazonian.
Yeah, she's too hot. She's too wild. You got to go with the
one that really loves you.
Yeah, she's the girl next door. Yeah, the girl next door. And you notice how she's a little more conservative, and like she's not as more like filled out as a character either.
Well,
I love the duality of that they made with those characters because the Chloe was like super hot. Like her character design was like really sexy, but like what's her face was a little more modest and conservative and stuff like that.
But I always liked how like it's almost surprising that she can always hold on her own and like she could do things on her own.
Yeah,
because like it almost.
She's so independent. Yeah.
But like she doesn't appear that way. But every time she's put in a situation,
she bails you out a few times.
Yeah, she does.
I love that moment in 3 though. It's amazing. Yeah, and then like at the end of 2 when it's all happy and stuff, and he like saves her, and they like had her holding hands or whatever. It's just cute. They have a fucking cute as shit relationship, and they have a playful one as well, like you were describing.
They go through all the little stages of a relationship.
Yeah, and they bicker like a real couple. It was so believable. The entire performance was really believable, and that's what feeds into a good like love story. It was like the performances. Which I guess really couldn't be said about Final Fantasy X because the voice acting on the game was awful. So it's hard to really get like any real emotion out of the scenes.
You didn't like the voice acting in 10, or
no?
That actually didn't bother me.
I mean, like voice acting never really bothers me, but like that voice acting was not good. Do you not remember that scene where like he's like making Yuna laugh, and they're like forcing each other to laugh, and it's like the most awkward video game moment.
But it makes sense when it's in Japanese. But
it's a Japanese story, you know.
It's just the way they speak and everything. It fits it right, and I guess they just had to fill it like the American way.
I don't know. Do you have any other ones, Abe? Any?
Yeah, I've got one. Sora and Riku. No.
Man. Lonely nights up on that raft, man.
Heavy Rain. If you choose it.
Oh yeah, that's a really good love story between him and the reporter.
You can't go too much because you haven't played it. Yeah. You can choose to have a love story or not.
Yeah,
which is cool. You can totally choose it. Like you can choose the completely because it's the love story is between the reporter and the
potentially
potentially, but you can choose to like just cold
be dismissive,
her,
or not even trust her. You can even blame her like for like a lot of stuff, but that love story is really cool because she's just like generally interested in this guy, and like while she has motives, you know, it's just like, oh, you're that guy, and I am a reporter, and I can't get a story out of you.
Yeah, she's like, there for the story, but
but it develops into something else for her, and like, that's a really good. Yeah, you got a lot of ones.
So depending on your choices, you could have a really in-depth love story, or you can just.
Yeah, my love story. I did go. Of course, I'm a ridiculous roommate, so I love going. I've definitely pursued a love story with both of those characters. What did you just say though? Sora and Riku. You could say Sora and Kairi though. Kind of a bland story.
That was a joke when I'm having trouble coming up with the
John Marston. During Red Dead Redemption or whatever. While there's not really a love story, he's doing everything for love, like to protect his family and stuff like that. So like his motives are driven, through being a good father and a good husband and stuff like that. So I mean that's pretty cool.
Final Fantasy VII, but you can say that about every Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy game has a love story in there.
Yeah, that love story was not good.
I really like Final Fantasy VII.
What do you mean what do you mean you really like Final Fantasy VII? What does that mean to you though? Like what is that? What do you mean?
I thought it was a good game when I played it. You can laugh all you want. You can chuckle, snicker. I just remember, but it could be the nostalgia of it because I think that was my first.
I think that's what everybody. I think that's what everybody's problem is.
But I have played it multiple times and I still enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it.
You played that game multiple times. That's the dozens of hours of your life.
I've even gotten like his final
Knights of the Round
or whatever.
That 12-minute fucking cutscene summon.
I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the little love story kind of thing.
I liked that chick died. I thought that was cool. Yeah.
Why you gotta be?
I mean, I thought that was a genuinely cool like plot device. Like killing off a main character. Yeah, I thought that was cool. And I should be into it. Like it's corporations and corruption. I hate.
What about the little love story like in Advent Children? Not necessarily the game, but like the cinematic.
What love story?
Well, it wasn't like love story as in like a like a couple, but it's almost like a parents to a son kind of thing. Do you not remember that?
No. Who is in?
It's like I recall. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. It's just I recall like Cloud is like speaking, and he thinks like it's his mom or something, and the voice is Aeris.
I think he knows he's speaking to her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knows.
She and Zach are like always around. I don't know. No, I just thought of one actually. I did play. Man, they're all Final Fantasy games. What the fuck is this? But 6.
You can just default to every Final Fantasy. Yeah, that's like the core of what makes a Final Fantasy game. A Final Fantasy game is like the love story.
Yeah, someone's got to fall in love with a princess usually,
and or die.
Yeah, but no, I actually I like Locke and Celeste's romance in 6 because Locke has like an old lover, but she's passing, and he finds so he meets Celeste and they like fall in love, so he's dealing with losing someone he really cared about and moving on.
Wow, yeah.
So it's I
liked
that. I like that about their relationship. It wasn't a normal romance story, but it was really nice. I like Celeste's character a whole lot. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still want to default on Metal Gear Solid 1. Despite
no, dude, I said it off air and I'll say it on air, dude. There was no love between Meryl and Snake at any point. She loved Meryl. Maybe loved Snake.
There was totally
dude.
Okay, no,
but it wasn't
it was weird.
If you just stopped at Metal Gear Solid 1, and there was no other game after that.
No, I refuse. First off, that's not the world we're living in.
Yeah, but
second off, let me tell you exactly how that game ends. They get on a jet ski together after he saves her, because he saved her,
Yeah.
And he was dismissive to her the entire game. He would ask, well, what's your name? He's like, oh, name's not important on the battlefield. Or, it's like, do you have anybody who's close? Or just like, yeah, but they're dead. He's just being very distant, kind of an asshole to her the entire time. There is a moment where he is worried about her because of his genuine compassion for other humans, he's a hero, that's what he does. And then he saved her, and you know what saviors and heroes get? They get hero fucked, Jimmy. They get hero fucked. They get a good hero fucking session, alright? So they went to the extraction point, which I'm assuming is a shack, like out in the mountain somewhere, waiting to get picked up. And he got hero fucked, and he just leaves. And he leaves. He just jets afterwards. He just leaves. And none of this is canon, but I'm only going off of how pissed Meryl is in 4.
Yeah, but you're going off the other games. If it stopped at Metal Gear Solid 1...
But it didn't. It doesn't stop at Metal Gear Solid 1.
But we're talking about love stories like in a game, and that was in that particular
So he
game.
just decided to start loving her right when they got on the jet ski. He's like, by the way, bitch, I love you.
Supposedly how I interpret it was maybe a measure of peace and what his life... his life in the game. It's like a life of war, and so when you see like the beginning intro or the side video of Quez, it shows like they kind of pull him out from wherever he's been.
Yeah, he was retired in sled dog racing.
And they put him through this whole extreme adventure, and then like he gets out of it, but like he's generally a lone person. Like
I know, and he got hero fucked.
Maybe
he's been around sled dogs for the last ever, and he just went through some heavy shit, and he just saved a girl. He gets hero fucked. All right, that's just Spider-Man gets hero fucked. Batman gets hero fucked. They all get hero fucked because they save people, but they don't like. There's not a love story. Batman doesn't love all these women he's having sex with. Spider-Man, he's kind of a punk, so he does love the girls that he's hero fucking. But
that's like teen love.
Yeah, it's teen love. You know, it's hard to separate. It's not real love. It's stupid, gooey, dumb high school. But he just got hero fucked.
I'm not. I refuse to believe that. You can say what you want, but I think how that game was originally intended, that's the way it was supposed to be.
No, well then
but they made the other ones because Metal Gear Solid was undeniably successful. So
you
they
sure?
had to continue.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure, Kyle. I refuse to believe it any other way.
Yeah, but you have to believe it the other way because there are more. Yeah.
But we're talking about. Well, like you said, the topic was specifically to the game. So if it was just
I never go that into specifics.
Specifically to that game. That's
you made up all these specifics.
I would say specifically to that game. That game, if you choose to ignore the rest of the games that come after it.
Yeah, let's just ignore Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and 4. That's what you're condoning right now. You should listen to yourself, Abraham. You should listen to yourself, Jimmy.
Abraham.
You should listen to yourself. It's ridiculous.
The ridiculousness you expect from Abe.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to play through 4 and be like, you know what, I didn't like it. Because people don't like 4.
Have you not
may hate it.
Well, 4,
he's going through 3 right now.
4 is for the fans. It's only for the
fans. Hate that game, man.
They're not real fans.
I know, that's what I say.
It ties up every plot hole and pretty much.
They didn't like that. Oh, I can't.
Pretty much every question that you have
is going to be answered,
or any open-endedness that they put in the game, it pretty much explains it all.
That's
in
what
the last
that's
one.
What, and I do. I'm like,
I do agree that sometimes they reiterate the the point over and over again, but I think it's because the story is so complex that they have to. Like it kind of repetitive. Like it gets it ingrained. So like when they're talking about something, you know what they're talking about because they mentioned it like 6 times before.
Yeah, that's totally true. I mean, if you feel like you just need to have a Metal Gear Solid thing maybe on the list, so maybe I'll give you this one, like the boss and Big Boss, it wasn't like a love story, like it was kind of something bigger. Yeah, it was deeper than love. Nothing like that.
A bond, bond.
So I mean, like that was like a real. That's my favorite relationship story because you can't call it a love story, But like, if out of all the relationship stories in all of video game history,
as much as Snake could love,
and Jack's fucking story was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous, and you're about to see the fucking working man behind the curtains of the game.
Well, there's Raiden and Rose. You could take Raiden and Rose.
Oh yeah, I mean they are the most annoying couple in video game history.
I can't.
Jack and Rose. I'll never let go.
I didn't like the game so much. I mean, it had a lot of cool concepts in it.
Whoa. What are you saying to me right now?
This is Metal Gear Solid 2, right?
Yeah.
We've had this discussion before.
I've never heard the words I didn't like that game too much come out of your mouth before.
I'd say I played it multiple times, and I enjoyed the experience in it, but I didn't...
I think that if you played it again now... You would have a completely different experience.
Maybe it's just...
I don't think you know this. I don't think you really got the story of that game.
Maybe just...
The people who don't like that game, I immediately assume you just didn't understand.
No. Because I have acknowledged that the second one is very critical to the whole story arc.
But it's not even like that. The game is hard to catch. You know what I mean? It's a very complex, cerebral game.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm so in love with Snake that playing Raiden was just disappointing.
That's what everybody fucking says, man. That's the go-to for everybody. That's their only argument. It's like, you know what? I just don't like playing as Raiden. I just like Snake better. It's like, well, guess what? That's not the game you got, bitch. You don't make games, and you got this game because you don't make them.
Yeah, I expect to play Snake because You remember, I got
You did,
the
at the
Japanese
beginning.
version, so I played like 10 months before
Yeah.
everyone else did. And so I played, and then it was like, oh, it was only like the first sub-level, and that's Snake, and the rest of it's Raiden. And it's a lot of nitpicking, though. Like, there's nothing in particular.
I'm like shaking my head so dramatic right now, you just can't see it, so I have to say it out loud.
No, I just didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones.
Alright,
I have to end this.
We'll just end it like that.
Wow.
We've already had our discussion on 2, so...
Yeah.
So I hope y'all enjoyed Jimmy because he's never coming back on again. Yeah, that's awful. I challenge you to go back and play it. I think that I don't think you understand the game like you think you do. And even on my going back and playing it recently, I was even like, what the fuck? Because it's the story. If you like stories, there's plenty of guns, so I mean, that's obviously not the problem. But like, if you like stories...
Didn't like playing Raiden. But we'll just leave it at that. We'll just, before this goes into this whole tangent
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is Optional Bosses. Game on!